Hello everyone, this is Kay from Misamis University College of Education. Today, we will discuss another topic. This time, it is all about geography. Geography, a captivating subject, is a scientific field that is devoted to the study of the Earth's landforms, oceans, environment, and ecosystems, as well as the interactions between the human society and their environment. So today, I will discuss one of its branches, settlement geography. But first, let's define what is settlement geography. Settlement geography is a branch of geography that investigates the Earth's surface part settled by humans. Also, settlement geography is a sub-branch or subordinate branch of human geography, in which physical and human geography are the two major branches of geography. In addition, settlement geography is the totality of the human community, whether it is a city, town, or village, with all the social, material, organizational, spiritual, and cultural elements that sustain it. From the name itself, settlement, it also means that this kind of geography focuses on places where people usually live. Several factors influence the location of settlements. This can be divided into four. These are historical factors, accessibility, availability of resources, and human preferences and the influence of technology. First of these factors is the historical factors. Historical factors include the historical considerations, including the desire to build settlements on defensive grounds. Factors of legislation and the land tenure also affect the position of present settlement patterns and their locations. For example, most settlements were located on higher ground, which was easier to defend, just like in this picture. The settlement is located at the hill. Higher ground also meant enemies could be seen while they were still far off. It would provide protection from attackers. In this particular picture, the Durham and the River Wear, it is at this point that the River Wear takes a remarkable curve which almost isolates the central part of the city on which the cathedral and castle stand. The site was largely chosen for its fantastic natural defensive qualities. The second factor is the accessibility. The need to communicate with other areas for trade and travel purposes is another important factor that influences settlement patterns. Settlements are often located on transport routes and communication lines. When we say transport, it refers to a site at the crossroads, on a river or at the coast that give easier access to other settlements. Settlements can be regarded as nodal settlements in this factor because these settlements that converge along areas, railway lines, water routes, and mountain passes. This means nodal settlements heavily rely on easy accessibility in terms of transport and communication lines. Next factor is availability of resources. A lot of settlements are located near natural sources that are necessary for people's livelihood. For example, wood, fertile soil and grass, and most importantly is the water supply. As we all know, water is a very important resource that attracts settlement. It is used for domestic or irrigation purposes, pastoral activities, and in some cases where the river is navigable or transport purposes. This picture is the Winch. Winch is mostly a coal town. Winch is a town wherein coal is in abundance. Lastly is the human preferences and the influence of technology. Most settlements are now being planned according to human preferences and desires. For example, most land use patterns in resettlement areas are a result of deliberate human planning more than anything else. Settlements are now being built even in a steep slope landscape just like in this picture. We also have types of settlements. The types of settlements are hamlets, villages, towns, and cities. First on the type is the hamlet. Hamlets are the tiny settlements. They are just a few collections of houses, perhaps centered around a few farms and maybe without even a shop. Hamlets are also the smallest type of settlement because only few can live and few establishments are to be found. Perhaps subdivisions are examples of hamlets. Next is the villages. Villages are small settlements. Several hundred people live in them, and they have a few shops, a place of worship, and maybe a school too. Villages are bigger settlements than hamlets because few shops, place of worship, and a school are to be found. Next is the towns, are medium-sized settlements. Thousands of people live in them, and they have a shopping center and factories. And lastly is the cities. Cities are large settlements. They usually have lots of amenities, and sometimes a cathedral too. Megacities have over 10 million people living in them. Among the four basic types of settlements, cities are large settlements. A city can also be categorized into two. It can be a rural area or an urban area. When we say rural areas, these are places in the countryside with few buildings, just like in this picture. Next, when we say urban areas, these are settlements with lots of buildings in them, just like this one. As you can see, there are many buildings. We also have settlement patterns. There are three patterns, namely nucleated, linear, and dispersed. Let's talk about first the nucleated. Buildings are clustered round a central point. The center of the settlement may be a crossroads, a church, a water supply, or a marketplace. These are the examples of nucleated type of pattern, wherein in the west side, this is the example of the nucleated type of pattern itself, and in the east side, this is the illustration of the nucleated type of pattern. As you can see in the west side or the picture, the focal point or the center of the settlement is the water supply. Next is the linear. Linear settlements sometimes follow the shape of the land. Linear settlements also follow features such as roads, railway lines, or rivers. So these are the example of linear, wherein all the settlements are in line. Next is the dispersed. Dispersed settlements are usually farms. They are spread out because of the space taken up by fields. These are the examples of dispersed. As you can see in the picture, in the west side, the settlements are far away from another. It means one house or one settlement is far away from each other. So it's really dispersed. To clearly illustrate the three patterns of settlement, these are the settlement patterns. First is the dispersed, second is the linear, and the third one is the nucleated. I have provided here a chart with three columns. The first column is the nucleated, The second column is linear, and the third column is the dispersed. Nucleated. When all the houses in the settlement are built very close together, often around a central village, green or church. In linear, this is a settlement that has grown in a line. The line that doesn't have to be straight, but will normally follow a road, a river, a coast, or in the valley floor. And in the dispersed, when individual buildings are separated by several hundred meters. Dispersed settlement traditionally occurred in an area of adverse physical conditions where natural resources are insufficient to support more than a few people. That would be all for settlement geography. I hope you had a great time learning the settlement geography. Thank you.